Let's talk about the economy, because the news on Friday was certainly striking, Brit. I mean, you had this $10 spike in the price of a barrel of crude oil. You had the unemployment rate. There were some statistical issues, but it was up by a half a point, the highest in 2 decades. Stock market 400 points down. If, and I repeat, if, that, not necessarily that set of perfect trifecta, but if bad economic news continues, does McCain stand a chance?
He stands a chance because he is not the incumbent. But the candidate of the incumbent party is always affected badly by bad conditions in the country, and the economy is certainly not likely to be perceived as particularly good. On the other hand, whatever happened to the recession? I thought we were in a recession. You don't hear that. It hasn't happened. It's kind of a miracle that it hasn't, given all the forces that were arrayed against the economy, which continues to kind of poke along at a very slow pace, but remarkable nonetheless. I would say that if this bad economic news continues, it obviously helps Obama. McCain will need to outline a program that makes it appear that he will do something major about it. You would think that gasoline prices could help McCain. It's helping the members of the Republican Party in the Congress, where the Democrats are not for doing anything to increase our supply. But except for nuclear power, McCain really isn't either.
I was going to say, he's on the Democratic page on those issues.
I don't think that's an issue that works too well for him, although it may work for people down ballot.
Did you say gas should help McCain?
I'm saying that the issue of gasoline prices could help McCain because the public polls have changed on this issue. One, people are for exploring for more oil, they're for more nuclear power, they're for exploring for oil off the coasts. The Democrats are all against this, and Obama is too.
People with 2 oil men in the White House right now, and oil prices going up right now under Republican policies, that's going to help McCain.
John McCain is not one of those people who's in the White House right now.
It's hard to see how a bad economy helps McCain in any way, shape, or form. But he also hasn't come up with even just the raw material he needs to get into the debate. He needs to have a real plan, a better plan than he does. I think it also matters who he picks as the vice president, if they're seen as competent in those areas where McCain has said very honestly that are not his main strengths. I mean, he's a national security, foreign policy
And that raises a really interesting question, Bill, because the fact is that McCain has had this time. I mean, he has had 4 months since he locked up the nomination, and for all the talk about the sickly green backdrop of the speech and the fact that he didn't read a teleprompter very well, I think the thing that surprised me the most is he didn't have a bold initiative on the economy or on energy to sit there and say, you know, beyond just making fun of the change line, to say, I represent change and I got some specific new ideas.
Well, there's more he could do, but he's locked himself into certain positions which limit his flexibility. For example, he can't become a huge advocate for drilling, which I agree with Brit would actually be popular. On taxes, he's already proposed a corporate tax cut, and therefore his ability to do something bolder with big tax reform is somewhat limited. I think probably McCain is McCain. You know, if this is a commander-in-chief election, I think he has a good shot at winning. If it's an orator-in-chief election, he's going to lose. Or to put it slightly differently, if it's a verdict on is the country in good shape, he's going to lose. If he can make it a choice election going forward at a time of war, I think he has a pretty good chance to win. People could decide they got a Democratic Congress, they're not going to have conservative policies over the next 2 to 4 years, much as I would like them, you know, no matter who's president. Isn't it safer to have McCain as commander-in-chief?
Well, I tell you, listen to this conversation, you think, how can Barack Obama lose? And yet, when you look at the electoral map is pretty much what the electoral map's always been, and it looks like it favors the Republicans and at least forgives the sins of the past 8 years.
All right, got to go?